touch. You got the touch.
This is Stan Bush, and this epic video from Optibotimus truly has the touch.
This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Voyager class Optimus Prime. Now, as you can see right through the package, Optimus Prime is something a little bit different than what we got previously with the deluxe figures from the new Beast Hunters line. In that, while those figures basically maintain the same design, they use a lot of new parts with them. This is a newly designed figure and all new parts are used for them. And as you can see, the packaging on here is really pretty big. It's really nice to see that their Voyagers are going up in size again. So everybody who complained about Transformers getting more expensive and going down, at least with this, it's looking pretty good. You got a nice image of Predaking on the side. You got an image of him in his vehicle mode. Comes with an ionic pulse launcher, and you can see the Star Saber actually there as well. Really very cool. You got a nice image here of Optimus on that side. Come around to this side. You got his technical data and all that fun junk. And in keeping with all the other Beast Hunter figures with very small bios on their actual packaging, it says Optimus Prime, the heroic Autobot commander, equips powerful new weapons and armor for the upcoming battle with the almighty Predaking. Almighty, huh? Alright, whatever. Then you come on here to the back, you see his robot mode, you got his vehicle mode. It mentions that his ionic pulse launchers there, and both of them can be attached, or they can be attached in both vehicle mode and robot mode. And as I mentioned, he does come with the Star Saber. Now, it's green, which is really kind of weird. I'm kind of on the fence about that. It's weird. You got the Autobots from season 1 and 2, but really nice. I mean, I'm happy. You come around here on the bottom, you got Predaking right there. Like I said, I'm really happy to see that the packaging is increasing. I'm not 100% sure about the figures. It does actually look pretty big though. So I'm really kind of curious to see what they're doing with this guy. I know a lot of people have already kind of complained about some of the looks on him, like his face, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But beyond that though, there's Optimus, so let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Beast Hunter Voyager class Optimus Prime opened up and out of its packaging. And just like with all my other Beast Hunter reviews, we're going to be taking a look at the Tales of the Beast Hunters, Chapter 5, which is a continuation from Chapter 4, which was Deluxe Class Wheeljack. You open it up, and you got an image. There's Optimus right there. He comes with an Eagle Fire missile launcher, which is weird because that's not what they call it on the package. It says compact-sized masks, devastating power, missile impact powerful enough to cause earthquakes, and it doubles as rocket engines for limited flight. And then you see the weapon right there, and then again, the actual read-up for the little guy says, the moment the distress call sent by Wheeljack crackles to an abrupt stop, Optimus Prime springs into action. He orders Autobot Ratchet to overload the ground bridge enough to send him, alone, deep into space to join the fight against Megatron and Predaking, ignoring the Autobot scientists' warning that doing so will fry the bridge, leaving the Autobots without fast transport on Earth, and Optimus Prime no way home from space. He leaps into the glowing ring. Instantly, he finds himself in the swirling chaos of combat, fire lashing the air and smoke obscuring his optics. In the space of a moment, his warrior's mind grasps the situation, and he leaps into action, firing every weapon at his command at Predaking, hoping to give Bumblebee and Wheeljack the time they need to escape. And as you can see, it continues with Chapter 6, Voyager Class Predaking. Really cool. I'm loving the bios that these are coming out with. It just kind of gives a glimpse into the story, at least what I'm hoping is the story. But again, they're not really talking about how these changes really happen, just them using weapons. So who knows whether or not we're actually going to get Optimus Prime looking like this. Or for that matter, any of the deluxe figures looking like that. Again, my theory is still, no, we're not. But that doesn't stop me from really actually enjoying a lot of these figures. Optimus Prime is definitely one that I was absolutely not all that interested in. But something about him has really grown on me. Now, somebody actually mentioned that he doesn't really resemble Optimus Prime. And, well, he does and he doesn't. That much is pretty accurate. I mean, people have said that he kind of looks like a Cybertronian garbage truck. I've read that in a lot of different places, and when you take these weapons off, as you can see, they're tabbed on here. When you take these weapons off, he really does kind of look like a garbage truck. If you do it like this, I mean, that kind of looks like a garbage truck to me. A very small garbage truck, but a garbage truck nonetheless. As you can see, though, the weapons do come off. We're going to set those off to the side for right now. Now, the one thing that, if he doesn't look like Optimus Prime, the one thing that I will say is that he does really kind of remind me of a potential Solus Prime. You got the different look and everything than Optimus, and if Optimus doesn't change to look like this is going to become my Solus Prime on my collection shelf. As you can see, you got the green kind of windshield here, which some people have also kind of complained about, but I think it, again, distinguishes him and makes him not look like Optimus Prime, which is kind of where I'm leaning. The other bit is that on the actual package, they show that these were also green. They're not on the package, or they're not on the actual figure, so that's kind of strange. But they open up and they fire. The missile's kind of wimpy, to be totally honest with you. And then you just fit that right back in there. And like I said, you can peg these on the side or whatever you really want to do. He also does come with the Star Saber, which the green doesn't bug me all that much. It's a nice looking weapon. But I really do wish there was like maybe some kind of like swirly paint in this, mixing the green with the blue. That's one thing that I'm noticing on here. There doesn't appear to be any of the swirly paint that we were getting with the deluxe figures on this. So that's really kind of interesting, I guess. But it's regardless, I really am enjoying this. I didn't think I would, to be totally honest with you. I am actually really liking this guy. Now, for a size comparison, here he is. And here he is with what I consider the definitive version for the Transformers Prime character of Optimus Prime, and that being the first edition Optimus. And as you can see, there is a substantial difference. Now, it's kind of weird. Optimus in the first edition is obviously taller, but this guy is a bigger figure. Now, I watched my friend Pia's review, and he mentioned that they're the same mass, and they roughly are. I actually weighed them. This guy weighs about 5.4 ounces, whereas this one weighs 5.8 ounces. The biggest problem, though, is this figure is a bigger figure than this one, so he does feel thinner, and therefore makes him feel a little bit more cheap, I suppose. That's one of the biggest complaints. He does have a very kind of thin feel. A lot of it, I think, has to do with his tires. These tires are ridiculously hollow. I mean, these ones are hollow as well, but these ones just feel a whole lot more hollow, and it gives his legs a much thinner kind of feel, I guess. But for the size of this, to roughly weigh the same amount as this one, and you'll see later on how much bigger this guy really is in terms of a mass, it really is kind of unfortunate, because he should weigh more. So that reduction still is kind of there in terms of, I don't want to say the quality, because I still think that this is a high quality figure. It doesn't feel like a knockoff or anything, but it just feels thin, and that gives the illusion of cheapness. Now, a Transformer, what you want to do, just take these little bits. Usually they're tabbed in. They don't tab in all that well. This is a softer kind of plastic that tabs into hard plastic here, and it's kind of hard to get it in there. I mean, you can get it in there fairly easily. It just feels like you're going to be damaging something, because forcing softer plastic into hard plastic, again, doesn't feel all that good. So then take this section. You're just going to angle this up. Just can't get that out of the way. Come around here to well, drop it. These arms kind of, they tab in on the bottom section here of the legs. And it tabs in there very securely. You got that tab right there, that tabs right in there, and then do that on this side as well. Then take this whole section on the side, kind of angle these down, I guess, right here, and then rotate these around, bringing these together and actually peg them together just like so. Kind of take this, loosen that up. You can then angle this like that. Then you can rotate this whole thing around like so. Bring down his feet, fold out his ankle support right there, separate them, kind of straighten them up, and here you have his legs done. Coming up to the top, just take these arms, rotate these around, and again, you got a softer plastic here on this gray bit that pegs in here, and that just, it doesn't feel all that secure when you're pushing it in there. It kind of, it doesn't click, it just frictions in there, I guess. So it gives a weird feel to it. So do that again here. Push that in there nice and secure. This section here, rotate this. Well, now you rotate his head out, Paul. Bring his head around. Bring this bit up. Get these down. These little spike doodads are going to be pointing down like so. Rotate this section down, and what's kind of funny, it doesn't actually tab into place. There's little notches here on the side with little tabs right here that they kind of sort of rest in. It doesn't really lock it into place too well. I mean, it sort of does, but it's not super secure. And then rotate these around. You can bring these down however you really want. This is a matter of personal preference, how you want to position these wings. I mean, you can have them out like so. Really, whatever you want to do, just straighten things out. Straighten that. We're just gonna put these out like so. I mean, the actual, I kind of like it like that, but the actual instructions show it like that. So that's how I'll do it. And then straighten that out. Straighten out his legs. Bring these down. These can angle up however you really want. Straighten out his head. And here you have Optimus Prime transformed into his actual robot mode. And in robot mode, this figure really does have a presence to him. Now, a lot of people have kind of complained with the whole wing thing. They make the comparisons to animated Optimus Prime. They make the comparisons to like the Jetwing Optimus Prime from Dark of the Moon, things like that. It doesn't bug me all that much. Now, like I said, you do have different options. You can leave them up like that, or if you want to, you can rotate them around, and you can tuck them just like so, and kind of keep them along his back, I suppose, if you didn't want to have those wings out there. I mean, it's really entirely up to you. And I suppose, you know, keeping them like this really kind of gives a more kind of at ease look, I suppose, where he's not ready to fly off and kill somebody. Now, the overall look, while I like it, the figure itself, again, as I mentioned before, does have a very thin feel to him. Like his arms here, these are hollow. I mean, you don't see anything, but there is no substance really inside there. So these very big arms are very hollow, and it makes it feel lighter and cheaper. I'm thinking the same thing with the legs. Like I said, the wheels really kind of give a very thinness to them, but again, I really think that the legs here are very hollow, so again, gives it a very kind of light feel to them. And then, I mean, you can see that the whole back section here folds into his chest. Let me get these out of the way. So, I mean, that whole section right inside there is all hollow, but you do kind of fill it in by bringing that up like so. So it's not as bad. In terms of his chest, it's not as bad as I guess it's made out to be, but a lot of the rest of it really does have a very thin feel to it. These bits right here on the side, these actually kind of feel very thin as well. They're not hollow. I mean, they are hollow, but it just, there isn't the same amount of substance that this figure has. Now, for a comparison, here's the Beast Hunters Optimus, and here's the first edition. Now, in terms of a height, this guy, well, I mean, obviously is taller just because of the shoulder bits, but at the head, he's probably just a hair taller, but you can see that he is just a much larger, kind of massive figure than what we got with the first edition Optimus Prime. But this guy has more substance to him. He feels heavier. At this size, this guy, you know, I mean, feels pretty good. This guy, while he looks a whole lot more bulky, you would expect him to have a heavier weight to him. Now, in order to keep costs down, they make things like his forearms and his legs hollow. You use less plastic, so, I mean, yeah, it keeps the price down, but it just doesn't give the same kind of feel and quality that we got with something like the first edition Optimus. Now, I do apologize, I no longer have the RID one to kind of show you as for a comparison, but you can get the general idea, I think. Now, the other thing that a lot of people have really kind of commented on, and I've kind of had a love-hate sort of relationship with it, is the new head sculpt. It's just weird looking. I don't know. He's got the whole open mouth look, and honestly, it just doesn't have the same kind of look that Optimus Prime had, I guess. Which is again why I don't mind thinking of this guy as a different character, such as Solus Prime. I mean, that's just me. That's a personal thing, I suppose. But I would love a completely different head to go on this guy, like from Doctor Wu or something, just to even further change that kind of look and feel. But you can see the big giant green chest piece there, which is just weird. He's got green light piping, really good light piping. Well, I mean, green, I guess, is a good light pipe color, but you know, people have complained about the green. It doesn't bug me all that much. Like I said, mostly because I look at this as maybe a different character. But I could see where some people would be like, the face just is kind of ugly. And it really does. I mean, the face looks older than what we're used to. But it's still a decent head sculpt, if you ask me. Now, for his accessories, you can actually have him hold these in his hands if you want. The instructions show doing it like this, where you got a double hand weapon, like something like that, which that's kind of goofy. And then you got his Star Saber, which we'll get to. For this just kind of looks goofy to me. Now you could, if you wanted to, like I said, rotate these around. You can fold these down, fold this up like so, and you still have the whole peg here. You can peg that in there if you want, or you can actually peg it on the inside here. The problem that I have though is this feels like it's a fairly thin plastic as well, so when you push this in there, it feels as if it's not a proper fit, I guess, and it kind of makes me nervous. So you got this big heavy peg and you're pushing it in here, and it's pretty tight actually, so it really kind of makes me nervous that it's going to damage the plastic that it's actually pegging to. So that's something to kind of keep your eyes on. But again, if you want to leave it like so, rotate these around, put that up like that, and now you have a little bit more of a backpack, I suppose, with his rocket launchers there, or thrusters, which isn't bad. I mean, really, it's not that bad. It fits in there pretty good, but it's again, personal preference, and his missiles came out, so I'm gonna put those right back up in there. It's personal preference, like I said, though, in how you want to display your figure. So, but there's that, and then he has his Star Saber, which you can have him hold in either hand. And I really dig the Star Saber. I mean, that's a very cool looking weapon. Not nearly as cool as the Dr. Wu one, but for a comparison on that, this is how he looks holding that. And it's die cast metal, so it's pretty heavy, so it's gonna weigh his arm down a little bit more, but I mean, that just looks cool. But it is really nice that we're actually getting an official kind of Star Saber. That's actually what they call this. So this is a really cool weapon, and I really do dig it. Like I said, I just wish there was maybe some of that swirly blue paint or something mixed in throughout there, just to kind of give it more of a authentic look, I guess. Now for his articulation, it's pretty much what we're used to getting from figures. They rotate left and right. It's not on a ball joint, so you can't make them look up and down or anything. It just rotates. The shoulders here rotate forward and back, but these bits right here kind of get in the way of everything else back here, unless you kind of fold it out like that, which really kind of looks goofy. They move in and out on nice ratchet joints. They rotate here at the bicep. They move forward and back at the elbow, and the wrists also rotate, except this one's really kind of stiff. The wrists rotate right there. Nothing really at the waist that I can see. No, that doesn't rotate. The hips here move forward and back, in and out. They bend at very nice ratchet joints here at the knee. The feet move forward and, well, just down, really. I mean, you got some pivot here, sort of. No ankle tilt or anything, which is unfortunate, but it's still a wonderful looking figure that you can get in some really cool, heroic looking poses. When it comes down to it, I really think that his robot mode here is the best of his two modes, just because the vehicle mode kind of is weird, I guess. So now to transform him back, you're going to want to remove these. Just pull these off from their side little peg sections. Set those off to the side just like so. Kind of straighten out his head, angle these up, kind of rotate that around, get that like so, angle that up like so, rotate this back and down. Then you can take this section here, rotate that around, and again it's going to make it kind of go blip in the back side there. Kind of angle these back, tab these legs together just like so, and then bring these down, untab this, and rotate these to the back section just like that. So again, bring it down, or I'm sorry, you're going to want to bring it out like that, then rotate it around, just like so. Again, getting these out of the way. Get that nice and straight so that you can fit that up inside here, just like so. Kind of straighten out these. Actually, you want to keep them just like so. The fist, I don't think it doesn't really matter how you position them, so that's how you want those to be positioned. Bring these feet together. You're going to bring these down, and like I said, you got these little tabs that are going to tab into the sections right here on his shins, but in order to do so, you have to kind of bend the knees a little bit, and then bring them in and tab them in just like so. Do that on both sides. Again, kind of push this all together. There we go. So it's kind of close to touching each other, but not quite. Then just bring these feet up just like so. Bring this around, tuck it in there. Untab these, bring that around, fold this out, fold that out, bring these in, and then you have a little tab section right here that tabs into his thigh there, and on the opposite side as well, locks into place nicely. Keep these positioned upward. You're supposed to take his head and rotate it around, which I didn't do. But through some video editing, I can do that and have the head reversed just like so. Then bring this section down, and then you have two little tabs here and here that are going to sort of tab in here and here. These tabs don't tab in there very good. Again, they're kind of rubbery plastic here on this wing section that doesn't really tab in all that well in the hard plastic, so I just kind of put it down there. It's there, it's not too bad, and then rotate this around, and it's the same kind of thing here. You have a little tab right here that fits into a hole here. They work, just not all that well, to be totally honest with you. It's not bad. They sort of rest in there and they stay down, so they're not going to be flopping all over the place, but it's just a bad decision to use this much kind of softer rubbery plastic. And then straighten these up where they're kind of like this, because in order to actually put these on here, you have to have these angled down. So keep it just like so. Look over everything, make sure it's all nice and done. Bring these over. You can peg these in here. You can shoot the missile out as well if you're so inclined. And this one here, the spring in here feels kind of annoying. And bring the Star Saber, peg that right in there, and then bring this. And this doesn't peg in there all that well either, so get right there. And then you got that right there. And here you have Optimus Prime back in his Cybertronian garbage truck mode. This is really a figure that I honestly did not think that I was going to like, that I was very pleasantly surprised about when I actually got him in hand. I really enjoy this guy and absolutely recommend picking him up if you see him in stores. If you can't find him in stores, go ahead, click on the link down in the video description. It'll take you to Big Bad Toy Store, and you can actually pick this guy up yourself. But beyond that, though, that's about it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the new Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Voyager class Optimus Prime. I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews, all at facebook.com/teambotimus and twitter.com/Optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.
When the going gets rough, you've been put to